Welcome to Creative Tien channel. Today I'm going to machine knit a very simple and minimal vest. It's almost a square and it's only 2 pieces, front and back. And I'm going to use LK150 knitting machine. The yarn I'm used is called Baby B. It's from Hobby Lobby. And this is a DK weight yarn. And with tension 6 on my carriage, I have around 4.5 stitches and 6 rows per square inch. So here is my basic design. I was going to just knit a rectangle or square, but I think with a little bit of the extra fabric on both sides, it creates the area under the arm. It will look more natural. And for the neck and the bottom edge, I'm just going to let it curl. And for the bottom part, I also need 1 row of purl stitch. And I start with 99 stitches. It's the same on the both front and back piece. I need 6 rows and reform a row of purl or every other needle of the purl stitch. And then I need 80 rows plain, and I start reforming the edges. I have 6 stitches on each side, and I'm going to reform them to 1 by 1 ribbon, and that will be 6 rows deep. And for the top piece, I also have the ribbon along the edges, so we'll continue down. That's another 6 stitches. So totally we have 12 stitches on each side to reform into the 1 by 1 ribbon. And after we reform that, we will bind off the 6 stitches on each side. And I can use a separate piece of yarn to bind off. Or you can use the main yarn if it's in the right position. And after that, I will knit a square on the top. We'll continue knitting about 45 rows. And we also continue transforming the 6 stitches on each side into 1 by 1 ribbon. And the only difference between the front and back piece is the neckline. So I will leave the front piece, the neckline, just plain stockinette stitch, so it will curl down naturally. But on the side, I try to add a few rows of ribbon, so it kind of tighten the top a little bit and make the neck look more intentional. For the back side, I will do the 1 by 1 ribbon all the way across, and I will make it a little bit longer. So I have around 12 rows. Instead of the front, I only have 6 rows. So that's the idea, and we just have to sew up on the sides and the shoulder, and you'll be done. Here is a basic instruction. Cast on, knit, reform the ribbon, and bind off the edge 6 stitches. And we'll continue knitting 45 rows, and we will continue doing the 1 by 1 ribbon by hand manipulation, and then finish the top of the neck with more 1 by 1 ribbon reform, and then we just bind off and sew up. Here's the first piece I make. That's the front. You can see it curled down for the neckline, and here is the top shoulder area. And we'll look at the armhole area. That's a ribbon we reformed. We have 6 stitches here, 6 stitches here, and it just goes up. And I have ribbon continuously until the center part. And in the bottom, this is a curling edge. And on the 6th row, I do the hand manipulation, every other needle for the purl stitch. So it kind of stops the curl a little bit. You can also reform every stitch to make a stronger line. The curling edge will match the neckline curling, If you don't like the curled edge, you can also fold it in and sew up. You will see a clean edge because we have that row of pearl stitch. Now we'll do the back side together. So we'll first cast on 99 stitches and I need 6 rows. I have it from left 50 until right 49. I have tension set to number 6 on my carriage, and I'm just going to start my E-rub cast on. And I will knit 1 row and place the cast on comb. Now I will continue knitting for 6 rows. Now I'm going to hand manipulate 1 row of pearl stitches, or every other stitch manipulated into pearl stitches. To make pearl stitch, you just need the latch up tool. I already started the first one. It's the second stitch, and then I skip 1 stitch, and the next one I just insert the latch under the first stitch or under the horizontal bar there. So insert to the center and drop the stitch. Now you see a line. Move the stitch below under the latch and place that bar inside the latch and close it by pulling down the needle. And that's 1 stitch manipulated. And hook it back. Skip 1 and we continue. Insert, drop the stitch, and then move the previous stitch past the latch and a new horizontal bar inside the latch and close up. And we continue across the whole row. That's how we manipulate the pearl stitch. After the manipulation, we'll continue knit 80 rows, and we'll start working on the 1x1 ribbing on both sides. Now we just need 80 plain rows. This is after 80 rows. Now we are going to do the 1x1 ribbing. We have 6 stitches and 6 rows on each side, and we also have 6 stitches continuous down from the top rectangle. So we'll have 12 stitches and 6 rows on each side. And similar to before, I will just use a latch tool and start from the second stitch. I count 6 stitch down. You can just look at the horizontal bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and below that, insert the hook and latch back up. Skip 1 stitch, the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will reform the first 12 stitches and the last 12 stitches. Now I finished the reforming. I'm going to bind off the outer 6 stitches from the left side and also on the right side. Since my carriage is on the left side, I will use this yarn to bind off the left side, and I will cut a piece of yarn to bind off the right side. Now I bind off the 6 stitches. My yarn is on the left side. I can also knit to the right and bind off the right side. And I don't want to knit the right 6 stitches again, so I'm going to put it to D position, the 6 stitches, and change the rustle lever to number 1, so those stitches will not knit. Now we'll knit 1 row. Now the yarn is on the right side, and we can bind off those 6 stitches. And we'll push all the empty needles back to A position, so we don't need it by accident. And I will add some weight like that, and add weight in the center. And we'll continue to knit the top square. And that will be 45 rows with manipulation on both sides and the top. And you can do maybe 10 rows or 20 rows each time before you start the manipulation. So every time you do a small section, it's easier. Change the counter back to 000 and knit 45 rows. I will attach the new yarn and make sure the setting is correct for the plain stockinette stitches, and knit 45 rows. Now I finish both sides. I'm going to refold the top, and I pull out every other needle. Those are the needles I will transform to the pearl stitch. And for the back side, I prefer it a little bit longer, so I will try maybe 10 or 12 rows, so it's a thicker band of 1 by 1 ribbon.